Hello everybody, welcome to Miss Kes Accessory. Today we're making a beautiful African print purse. As usual for this project I use African print. I'm using plain and pattern today. And we'll also be using this hard gum stay or interfacing as they call it. We'll be using the back zip. You can get any kind of back zip you want, any color you want. Then we have our scissors as usual. We'll be using top bond or Mod Podge and some paint brushes. So the first thing I did was that I took out this hard gum stay and I cut it into the shape that I want. I'm going to be leaving the size on the screen so you guys can see. So I'm applying my Mod Podge all over one side of the hard stay, and you want to be really you want to add this really well and spread it as much as possible everywhere, because you don't want some parts to be bumpy. So take your time to apply this very well on one side of the hard stay. So once I did this, I placed my fabric over. You can see that my fabric has extra allowance on all the sides. I left about half an inch on all sides or 1 inch, depending on how you want it. So you can decide to go for a different size of your bag. You don't have to follow my measurement. You can go for a different size depending on how big or small you want. So what I'm basically doing is I'm applying the top bond all around the edges, and I'm going to just flip it over to make that side really smooth. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. So I'm just trimming the other side because I feel like it's so much fabric and I don't want to use so much Mod Podge. So I'll just do that on the other side and I'll flip it over. So it's the same thing. I'm flipping over all the 4 sides, which you guys are going to see me doing now. So at this point, I'm just adding the final parts and flipping it over, and everything is well laid. You can see that I'm making sure it's really smooth and okay. So once I'm done with this, the next thing, I'm going to take a plain fabric. I'm using this red plain fabric and I'm laying it over. So it's the same measurement as the hard stay. You can even reduce it by maybe 1/4 inch so that it doesn't show on the edge, because this is going to be like your inner facing. And I'll be applying top bond first before I place this over. So this is like your lining inside, but we're going to just lay everything at the beginning. And the reason I always use top bond and this hard stay is because it makes your Ankara bag look very look very professional, looks very well made. It makes it look very thick and feels very original and all that. So but you can decide to just sew this round and not use a top bond, but the top bond just gives it like a very firm hold and it looks very nice. So you can just try both, with top bond or without top bond. You can decide to sew this, but I always use top bond for mine. So you're not limited to any kind of method of going about it. So I just showed you guys the measurement. Now I'm going to have it written on the screen again. as usual. So this is the front and the red part is the back. So I left this for 24 hours and it's very firm right now, very, very firm. So you don't want to have this for less. It's either 24 hours or maybe 20 hours because you want this really dry. You can see how firm it is. It's very strong, very, very firm. You're going to enjoy this bag when you're done making it. So now it's time for me to put my zipper, and I'm just going to place the zipper on both edge. You guys should know how to place a zipper. I'm going to be sewing the zipper, but if you don't have a sewing machine, you can use that gum I have there next to me. It's a shoe gum, but this is the original one. You want to ask for the very original one. It's lighter than the usual one, and it's very okay. So I went and I sewed the zip with my sewing machine, and I'm just measuring the side, and you can see I measured the side, and that side is 2 inches. So I went ahead and I cut about 3 inches, by the length when I folded it in half. Okay, so the length you have when you folded in half, then the side is 2 inches. I'm going to add 1 inches, and let's say if the length is 8 inches, you're going to add 1 more to make it 9. And don't forget that you don't want your side to get to the top of the bag because of the zip. Okay, so you can deduct about ½ inches because of the zip, because you don't want the zip falling over the side of the bag. So I'm just measuring let's say the length is 8 inches and the side is 3 inches based on what I just explained now. I'm going to go ahead and measure it, and at the end I'll just have this like U shape, because this will help your side to flip in easily. So I'm cutting 2 of these. I just shaped it into that U shape, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut my plain fabric that I will be using to cover up that hard stay that I cut. So I'm folding this because I want to cut it into 4 places. Okay, so that's pretty much what I just did. The same size. You can use Ankara fabric for this, but I'm using plain fabric because I feel like it's going to look really nice to have the plain fabric on the side and the Ankara for the for the main purse. In the side it's just like red, but you can do the same thing, or you can do something different. Be creative with this. There's no particular way of doing this. You can even make yours look better than mine. Okay, so just be creative with this and take your time and think of how you want your purse to come out. It's all about being creative. So this is what I did. I cut this into 4, 2 for one side, 2 for the other side. So I'm going to place this 1 in the front, 1 in the back, 1 in the front, 1 in the back for the 2 sides. You can go ahead and sew this. You can decide to add your top bond and wait for 20 hours or so for it to be dry. So any one you want, you can do. So you're not restricted to any particular stuff. I think for this, I'm just going to go ahead and just sew this, because I should have done this the previous day if I wanted it to be dry before I complete my bag. But I'm doing this today, so I'm going to go ahead and just sew this. It's going to be really easy for me like that. But if you don't have a sewing machine, you can decide to use your top bond to apply this, and then wait for it to dry before you attach it to the side. So just keep watching and see what I'm going to do. So for mine, I think I sew this and it's time for me to fix it. So I'm done sewing this. I'm just going to go ahead and just trim the edge, and you can see that by the time I trim the edge, I'm going to be having this white stuff at the tip there because I didn't flip my fabric over. That was a mistake on my part. So if you're making yours, you can flip your fabric over so that it covers the edge. But because mine is open, I'll just do something. I'm going to take a red marker that matches that fabric and just apply it all over the edge there to make that white stuff look less visible. So this is just a hack that I'll share with you guys. So but you can flip your fabric over and it will not be like this. Okay, so once I'm done with that, it's time for us to attach our side to the bag, and that part is really technical. So now it's time to attach my sides to the bag, and I'll be using that gum. I love this gum, and please, I just hope you guys can buy like the original one, because there are so many fake. The original one does not smell, the fake one smells horribly, and just has this really bad smell that you can't stand. But the original one doesn't smell. Okay, and also you can sew this, but it's going to be really hard to sew because of the kind of hard stay we are using. If you're using a different hard stay, you can sew and be able to turn. If you're using this particular hard stay, you can't turn with it, because I'm using a very, 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 very strong hard stay, because I want my bag to look like really, really good and really firm, So I just told my sister to sew one side, just so that I won't be so stressed for the other part. Okay, so now I'm applying my top bond. This is called top bond too, please. Here in Nigeria, but it's like just your gum, regular gum. I'm applying it to the side. I'm going to apply on one side, and then I'll go ahead and apply on the other side. Just leave it for like 10 seconds. It's going to dry really fast, and then I'm just going to go ahead and attach the bag to it. So that's it. So it's time for me to start attaching the bag, and I'll apply this on this side, and I'll go ahead and apply on the other side again. Just do the same thing again. So just watch what I'm doing, and that's exactly what you do when you're making yours. So you guys can see that I'm using a very small brush, because I want to contain this. I don't want this to go like everywhere and become so messy. Just going to gradually just tuck that in, and it's a shame that this is not like really showing on camera very well, but it's really easy. I'm just making sure everything is well laid, because my sister already sewed one part, so it's going to be like very easy for me to go ahead and fix the other part. So I advise you to do that. When you sew one part, it's very easy to fix the other part. So I'll do the same for the other side of the bag. Just go ahead and glue it together. Okay, so you can use a peg to hold this down so that it stays, it becomes dried before you release it off the peg. So that's what I just did. Okay, so I just used the peg to hold this down and wait for a while, and it just dried up in less than 10 minutes. And it's so easy to make, guys. It's so easy and it's fun. So it's really fun. So right now it's dried, and I'm just like trimming out everything. And my zipper, I went ahead and just trimmed any thread I had there, and I sewed my zipper. I folded it in and I sewed it in, and that's what I did. And my purse is ready. It's just so easy, so easy. So that's the final look, and this is how it looks like. You can go ahead and add your chain or any other stuff you want, but this is the final look. So thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.